you ever stared at that tiny red receipt, watching the minutes turn into agonizing hours, and felt the irritating sting of being purposely ignored? But let's flip the lens for a second. What is actually going on inside the head of the person leaving you on red? People love to throw around the classic excuse, "I was just so crazy busy." Sure, we live in a world where people take their phones into the shower, sleep with them under their pillows, and scroll through social media feeds while sitting at red lights. The truth is, busy is simply the most socially acceptable lie we tell each other. It sounds a lot better than saying, "You are simply not a priority to me right now." When someone deliberately ignores a message, they aren't managing their time. Let's be real, they're managing you. Think about the psychology behind that deliberate delay. There's a fascinating identity conflict playing out behind the screen. The person ignoring the text often views themselves as a healthy, boundary-setting, highly demanded individual. They desperately want to convince themselves that their silence is merely a sign of self-respect. But psychology suggests something completely different. Often, intentional silence isn't about protecting boundaries at all. It's a carefully calculated power play. It's the modern digital equivalent of making someone wait outside your office door. The person who controls the pace of the communication controls the entire dynamic of the relationship. It's a quiet, bloodless way of looking down and saying, "I hold all the cards here, and you are going to wait until I'm ready." Then there's the other side of the psychological coin. Not all silence is a power trip. Sometimes it's just pure emotional avoidance. People are utterly terrified of conflict. If a text message requires any emotional labor, making a tough decision, or facing an uncomfortable truth, the easiest route is to pretend the message doesn't exist. Out of sight, out of mind, right? They convince themselves they're simply keeping the peace, but in reality, they're just silently hoarding the tension. The grand irony is, the harder they try to avoid the drama by staying quiet, the more deafening that silence becomes to everyone else. As the old proverb warns us, silence is an answer too, and it's usually the loudest one in the room. So, we have the power trippers hoarding control and the conflict avoiders desperately running from their own shadows. Both camps are wearing the exact same cheap mask of being too busy. And if you're the one sitting there, constantly checking your notifications, watching the little ellipses bubble pop up and disappear, you're essentially participating in their little psychological theater. You are flawlessly playing the exact role they assigned to you, the waiter. The real question isn't why they are ignoring you. The real question is why you are still staring at the screen, desperately waiting for a tiny crumb of their attention. When someone shows you precisely where they rank on their list of priorities, why do you fight so incredibly hard to change their math? Maybe you are the ignorer, protecting your ego, or maybe you're the waiter. Either way, the silence always wins. Whose move is it anyway?